Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Jitsi Community Call. As usual, when we're starting here, I'd like to give everyone a reminder that hey, if you are running your own instance of Jitsi, and that has, and in order to embed it in an app, and that has currently recently become burdensome for you, maybe because your app is scaling and you're getting more and more users, and you are starting to spend way too much time maintaining your infrastructure and monitoring it and handling outages and upgrading it, well, then Jitsi as a service is for you. It's a service, an infrastructure as a service available at jazz.8x8vc. That's JAAS.8x8.vc. So please go and check it out. All right, welcome again, everyone. So let's start with the usual tour around the team here. Team, any updates that you would like to make this week? Damien, just on.
So I wanted to mention that. So I opened last week some PRs about that are supposed to kind of fix some issues with get user media that is never ending. Basically, most of them are reproduced. I mean, the symptom is that basically you're stuck on this overlay screen that lets you know that you need to allow permissions and stuff like that. So basically what we do now is we have a timeout for get user media because we notice that from time to time it can basically never end, even if the user has granted permissions to the application. Yeah, so hopefully this is going to be merged and released soon.
All right, thank you very much, Christo. Anyone else has any updates?
There's now, I don't think this, I'm not sure this is in the stable releases yet, but will be shortly a version of the, a very lightweight version of the Jitsi Meet interface designed for load testing. It's not deployed by default on our production servers, but you can enable it in your systems, and it's designed such that if you have a grid that's trying to load your servers, it's a very lightweight client, so you can run more instances of the client on the same resources if you're trying to load your servers and see how much load they can sustain. And the Malleus tool, which is the load testing tool in the Jitsi Meet Torture repo, now has flags to support that.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Anyone else? Boris, JM, Damien. No more updates? All right. Any questions? Damien, it sounded like you were going to say something again.
No updates on my side.
Okay. All right, let's move to open mic. Any questions or comments from the community?
Okay, I guess I'll go if no one is taking the lead. With my team, we're really interested in the end-to-end encryption features that Jitsi is bringing, and so we've been starting to implement it and look into it, and so we found out that so you're using the WebRTC installable stream everywhere to make this happen on the web. But from what we understood, there's difficulties right now to make it happen on the mobile clients because they're due to the limitations in the WebRTC implementation on mobile itself. Am I right?
Yes, sort of. I mean, it's not really a limitation. It's just that we haven't completed the work on mobile yet.
Okay, so you guys are actually working on making this happening on mobile at some point.
At some point, yes.
Okay. Is there any ways that we could bring in some engineering resources to make this go forward?
Well, can you maybe tell us a little bit more about your use case, just so I understand how we aligned there?
Oh,
What are you
well, we're using Jitsi in our app as the video conferencing solution. So we're mostly using the libjitsi meet directly and packaging everything on top ourselves. And so same for mobile, we have also our own React Native mobile implementation that's using libjitsi meet inside.
Okay.
And,
So, and you run your own infrastructure?
yeah.
Can you please try to open a topic on the community forum on community.jitsi.org and then post the link here? So would probably have some feedback there. I'll get him to.
Okay.
I'll ask him to.
Yeah, because I mean, it seems that from his progress that it was basically just that the installable stream was not built in the React Native WebRTC component they built. But yeah, okay, no worries. I'll make a post there.
Yes, well, that is the case, but this is being worked on, and essentially the conversation that we need to have is: are there easy ways that you folks can jump on board and help? Right?
Yeah,
so that's
definitely.
what we're trying to figure out. So yeah, please open a topic there, and I'll ask him to give you his opinion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Hi, I have a question. My name's Leo. It's related to Safari. And actually, I have a question on Firefox as well. But there's a bug that we noticed on Safari, and I was curious if this is being worked on or if it's on your guys' radar. And we've tested this on multiple devices and multiple people, so it seems consistent. When I'm accessing Jitsi on Safari, if I go to do the microphone dropdown, just clicking on the dropdown and opening the dropdown basically makes my microphone stop working and nobody can hear me.
Yeah, I think that's a known issue in Safari that is gone in the next version.
Okay, cool. When is the next version?
Yeah, that was the one, right? No, the next version of Safari, not the next version.
Oh,
no, I think he's talking about a different issue.
Oh, is it a different one? Okay, well, I'm sorry then.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, it's not about the audio. I mean, you getting garbled audio, right? It's about the device selection going away. Is that what it is?
So if I click on the drop down from the microphone symbol, just opening the device drop down makes my sound makes it so people can't hear me. And even after I close that drop down, people can't hear me. And then get this, if I go into the settings, the three dots in the bottom right, and then I click on and I go to the settings, and then I open up the microphone drop down from there. Just opening the drop down makes my microphone start working again, and then people can hear me again. So there's something about the opening and closing of the two drop down menus in the different places that's buggy.
Okay, I mean, this is something new. We haven't had a complaint about this, so yeah, I'll take a look. If you could post it on the community, that would be helpful. I mean, I can run some tests and see what's happening there.
Yeah. How would you once I post it? Do you want me to tag you somehow or?
Yeah, you could tag me, or you can post the link here in the chat.
Okay.
Or you could tag me, J Alamseri. That's my handle.
Sorry, Jay what?
J Alamseri, JALLAMSETTY.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And this wouldn't be happening on Firefox, right? Because Firefox doesn't let you select different audio device because of
that was my question. That was my second question was on Firefox. When the browser asks for permissions, it seems that it only asks for one device rather than the whole category of devices. So it'll ask you for a specific camera instead of just access to your cameras. And then subsequently, you can't change your camera to something else because you never granted it the permission. I was just wondering if this is a core browser limitation that we're working with, or if there's any fixes on that.
So changing the audio input device, that is a browser limitation, and this is something the Firefox folks have said that they're trying to fix it sooner rather than later. Like they have to rework their audio module code or something, so it is a bit of refactor for them. But they're committed that they'll excuse me, they'll fix it soon. But I don't know about the issue with camera.
Yeah, the specific issue with the camera is like, let's say you have 3 cameras, and you go to Firefox. It's going to ask you for permissions, but it's going to select one of the cameras and ask you to grant it permission for that. And you can change it at the permission screen. But whatever camera you select, then later when you're within Jitsi, if you try to select a different camera, it won't let you because you never granted the permissions. But it doesn't ask you for permissions again. So you kind of chose a fork in the road that you can't really go back from. And it's extremely it's not very user friendly because most people don't know all their cameras ahead of time. You got to kind of like test them out and see which one you want.
Can you clear the cache?
I did not. I could try that.
This sounds like a regression though. I mean, it wasn't happening in the previous versions of Firefox for sure. Like, yeah, we did a lot of testing around device selection. It wasn't happening. So yeah, I think you could list this one also in the post that you're going to make about Safari audio, or make it a separate post. I'll take a look at it for sure.
Okay, will do. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hello. I have one question. Yeah. If Octo is enabled with bridge selection strategy is region-based bridge selection strategy, and let's take an example. There is a 1 JVB in the Russia, 1 JVB is in India, and let's suppose the JVB has a 4 GB RAM and 2 GB core processor and 2 core processor, and it has a capacity of handling approx 100 participants across all the rooms. And now the India's JVB already have 98 users, and now one user is 3 or 4, more than 4 or 3 users tries to join from the India. And if the strategy is region based and the capacity is now the participant is entering more than 100, more than its capacity of JVB. What happens if JVB will crashes, or it's allow the users to join the meeting from the Russia?
Hey, Pratik. So Octo is used in 2 cases. When the load of a single bridge goes above a threshold, and when users join indicating that they're from a different region. So if you have your system configured with users joining from both India and Russia, then having your clients advertise that region somehow, then in this case, selection will always prefer a bridge in that region. Now,
even though after the limitation JVB will crash and all the conference will crash, still it stick with a region based condition.
Okay, let me get to the second part. I think I understand your question better now. So the second reason why Octo can be used is for load, which is when the load exceeds a configured threshold. And right now this is based on the bridge stress level as configured in the bridge via a maximum packet rate.
I mean,
if I understand your question correct, that's what happens when the bridge exceeds load and there's users in different region. Is that right?
Yes, I mean we should take a benefit of the both thing. First, it select the users. I mean, allow the users to go to the nearest JVB, and if that JVB does not have a capacity, then it should switch the condition to it's okay. If this JVB does not have a capacity, we should continue the all the conferences without crashing it. So allow the users, allow the users from the different JVB, even though the person is not nearest to that JVB.
Yes, I think what you're saying makes sense. I would have to double check with the code. I can send you a link to where this happens. And if you open a discussion on our community, I will make sure to like research it and answer more definitively there.
Okay, so it's in a community forum, or you are going to send this link on our chat?
I will send the link in the chat right now, and if you have further questions, I would ask you to go to the community forum, because it will require some looking up on my end.
Okay. Thanks.
Hi guys, my name is Ryan. Quick question. I've run into something where I'm trying to record with a Jitsi and I have my lobby enabled, it fails on the recording. So I was curious, do I need to whitelist something somewhere to make that work, or what could be happening?
Are you using your own food?
Yeah, our own infrastructure, yeah.
There's some setting I think that needs to be up for setting up with lobby. I think there's quite a few posts on the community around it, but Jitsi should be skipping that. I can't remember if it does it via URL parameter, or if it does it via the domain, but
There is a configuration in Prosody. I will paste it.
Okay, it's the domain.
In the chat here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Last call. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining this week's community call.